in body, mind, and spirit.
Freedom from physical disease or pain.
The general condition of the body.
What is the relationship between affluence and health?
What effects has affluence had on healthcare access and delivery?
In what ways does affluence affect our definition of health?
What impact does affluence have on the priorities of public health resource allocations?
Angels in America.
A play by Tony Fisher.
With background material from the New York Times, Newsweek,
USA Today, and UN Economist.
Nobody knows what causes it, and nobody knows how to cure it. The best theory is that we blame a retrovirus, the human immunodeficiency virus.
In June 1981, scientists in the United States reported the first clinical evidence of a disease that would later become known as acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS. 25 years later, the AIDS epidemic has spread to every corner of the world. Around 40 million people today are living with HIV, and over 25 million have died of the disease.
At any rate, the body is left open to a whole horror house of infections, like Kaposi's succulents, these lesions, or your throat problem, or the glands.
This is very interesting, Mr. Wizard. But why are you telling me this?
Well, I just removed one of 3 lesions, which biopsy results will probably tell us is Kaposi's sarcoma lesion. And you have pronounced swelling of glands in your neck, groin, and armpits.
as a prosecutor in the 1951 case that sent Julius and Ethel Rosenberg to the electric chair, and as chief committee counsel on McCarthy's panel, Roy Cohn became a prominent figure in New York in the 1960s and remained one until his death. Cohn, who first came to public notice in the early 1950s as chief counsel to Joseph McCarthy's Senate investigations into communist influence in American life, was a study in contrast. A secret homosexual, he was vehemently anti-gay in public.
This disease,
Syndrome.
whatever, it affects mostly homosexuals and drug addicts.
Mostly. Hemophiliacs are also at risk.
Homosexuals and drug addicts. So why are you implying that What are you implying, Henry? I am not a drug addict.
Oh, come on, Roy.
Say it.
Say what?
Say, Roy Cohn,
Roy.
you are... Go on, Henry. It starts with H and it isn't hemophiliac.
What are you doing, Roy?
Say, Roy Cohn, you are homosexual, and I will proceed systematically to destroy your reputation and your practice and your career in New York State, Henry, which you know I can do.
Roy Cohn, you have had sex with men many, many times, Roy, and one of the, or any number of them has made you very sick. You have AIDS.
AIDS, homosexual, gay, lesbian. You think that these are names that tell you who someone sleeps with, but they don't tell you that.
No?
No, like all labels, they tell you one thing only. Where does an individual so identified fit into the food chain, into the pecking order, not ideology or sexual taste, but something much simpler? Clout.
He was a brilliant, immoral, feared lawyer whose public career as an aide to Senator Joseph R. McCarthy in the 1950s made him both celebrated and widely loathed. Among his friends were Ronald and Nancy Reagan, Francis Cardinal Spellman, George Steinbrenner, Donald Trump, and Barbara Walters, as well as reputed members of the mafia.
Now, to someone who doesn't understand this, a homosexual is what I am because I have sex with men. But really, this is wrong. Homosexuals are men who, in 15 years of trying, cannot get a pissant anti-discrimination bill through city council.
President Ronald Reagan didn't discuss AIDS in public forum until a press conference 4 years into the epidemic, by which time more than 12,000 Americans had already died. He didn't publicly utter the term AIDS until 1987. People with this disease were routinely evicted from their homes, fired from their jobs, and denied health insurance.
Homosexuals are men who nobody knows and who know nobody, who have zero clout. Does this sound like me, Henry?
No.
No. I have clout. A lot. I can pick up this phone, punch 15 numbers, and you know who will be on the other end in under 5 minutes, Henry?
The president?
Even better, Henry. His wife.
I'm impressed.
I don't want you impressed. I want you to understand. I had sex with her, but unlike nearly every other man for whom this is true, I bring the guy to the White House, and President Reagan smiles at us and shakes his hand. Because what I am is defined entirely by who I am, and Roy Cohn is not a homosexual.
Okay, Roy.
And so what is my diagnosis, Henry?
You have AIDS, Roy.
No, Henry, no. AIDS is what homosexuals have. I have liver cancer.
Well, whatever you have, Roy, it's very serious, and I haven't got a damn thing for you.
Archbishop Celestino Migliore, a high-ranking Vatican official, told the United Nations that the apparently huge amount of money needed to bring life-saving drugs to those who can afford them would average to
Only $3 to $4 per person on the planet.
the fact that only 28% of the 7.1 million people get the antiretroviral treatment they need.
Represents a sorrowful ratio.
The NIH in Bethesda has a new drug called ACT with a 2-year waiting list that not even I can get you onto. So get on that phone, Roy, and dial 50 numbers and tell the First Lady you need an on-experimental treatment for liver cancer, because you can call it any damn thing you want to, Roy, but what it boils down to is it's very bad news.
In 2006, UN Secretary General Kofi Annan stated,
In the 25 years since the first case was reported, AIDS has changed the world.
it has killed 25 million people and infected 40 million more.
It has become the world's leading cause of death among both women and men ages 15 to 59.
It has inflicted the single greatest reversal in the history of human development.
In other words, it has become the greatest challenge of our generation.
For far too long, the world has